I played my first Magic game last night. It was a lot of fun. We played Commander. A good friend of mine who played with us, she also gave me a bunch of packs. So let's see how these packs go. But here's the first pack we're gonna open. It looks like Ravnica 15 card booster pack. Actually, this is the only Ravnica one I have out of the packs that she gave me. So what we're gonna do is actually just open all of the Phyrexia ones first and then go from there. Cool. Also, again, I'm brand new to the game. My first game was literally last night, and it was a lot of fun. We played Commander, played 2 rounds of Commander. Like the first round was super long, and I thought it was really interesting because, you know, people say like Commander is like the casual game mode or whatever, but dude, these are like 3-hour long games. Like, is that really casual? I think that's very interesting, but I'm starting to understand like why it's casual, I guess, just because of the legalities of being able to use a wider set of cards. I guess that's why. Oh, look at this. This is shiny. Kind of hard to tell sometimes, right? It's awesome. What else we got here? A mythic. Nice. A planeswalker. This is the first time I've pulled a planeswalker from anything, really. So that's kind of sweet. Luca, Bound to the Ruin. Is that good? But yeah, playing Commander last night, it was a lot of fun, and there's just so many questions to be answered when you're playing an actual game of Magic. Like, I learned playing Magic the Gathering Arena. That's different just because like a lot of steps are automated. There, you know, it'll tell you when you can play your instance. It'll tell you when you have things to play, possibly. But then it also keeps track of all your counters and stuff. Whereas like the real life game is interesting because, you know, once we start getting +4, like 4+1 counters, or like 4+1s, whatever, it's hard to keep track of. And we used dice, but sometimes it got really crazy. Like, for example, I had a Knights of the Round, and from what I understand, every round you're creating 3 more knights, and it got really out of hand really, really fast. But we were just using, again, dice to show like, oh yeah, we have three Knights of the Round that are tapped. We have 3 that are not tapped. So I think that's really interesting. That's like the one big thing, is just like keeping track of all the stats, and then also just trusting the people that you're playing with, because obviously I'm new and I don't really know like what all the characters do. And you tell me if I'm wrong, but like, do people really have like a working knowledge of like hundreds of cards, like basically 1,000 cards? Like, 2 of my friends who have been playing Magic for a really long time, they kind of just like knew what cards did what, like right off the bat. They'd reference stuff and it'd be like, I have no idea what that means. Like, why is that card cool? So that's like another thing about just learning the game. It seems like it's just like learning the abilities of different cards, and just knowing the abilities, like right, just kind of like off the top of the dome. I think that's really interesting. Oh, cool. Samurai token. This is the first time I've seen this token. That's pretty sweet. Again, it was super fun, but like the craziest things has just been, yeah, keeping track of counters, being like, okay, yeah, I guess they tapped all that mana and they're doing all these things. And, you know, sometimes they're playing and tapping, you know, 2 or 3, 4 cards per turn, and you know, a ton of abilities are triggering. You kind of just have to trust that what they're doing is legit and they're just not trying to screw you over. Obviously, I was playing with friends, but if you're not playing with friends and you're playing with strangers, like how crazy can it get in the card shop? You know, like, do people get really upset? Are people sort of not nickel and diming, but are people like sort of nitpicking about everything that you know, another player does? But otherwise, a lot of fun. I was using a Terra Herald of Hope Final Fantasy precon deck. I pulled a Knights of the Round, which I didn't realize was like super good. And the first 4 lore counters gives you 3, you know, 2/2 knights. And that happens for 4 turns, which is insane. I never got to the 5th turn. Well, actually, I did get to the 5th turn, but another friend of ours completely did a board wipe. So it was just Knights of the Round, like the actual card that got to the 5th turn. And then obviously once you reach the 5th turn, they're gone. So I didn't really get to see its full power, but it was a lot of fun just using that and constantly reanimating it with Terra. I think playing MTG Arena certainly helped, but also playing with actual real cards against real people, it's just, there's another level to it, right? It's like, it really is just a board game night, but like a little bit more fun, especially if you know how to play a little bit of Magic, because there's a lot of strategy involved, a lot of cool art, obviously, and there's just, you know, so much going on, really. But I really felt like the best part about playing Magic is just like connecting with your friends, and you know, especially for me, like it's cool just having another excuse to get together and you know, hang out. Basically, like we got dinner afterwards. You know, we didn't even finish a game really because it took so long, and but we were able to sort of just talk about like different cards. We're able to talk about our own lives, you know, outside of the game. It's just a good excuse to sort of hang out that doesn't involve like drinking, even though I did have a Mike's Hard Lemonade, whatever. But like, we're not out there, you know, like hitting up a bar, or like we're not, you know, doing hardcore drugs or something like that. But just a fun way to sort of hang out. What is this? Magic minigame Winchester Draft. What? I don't know what this is, but that's cool. Again, like I'm so addicted to just collecting Magic cards at the moment, and really hyped for the Avatar, the Last Airbender stuff. That's kind of like what got me into playing Magic. Some people at work also play. Isn't this the same card I just got earlier? Oh, look at this. One shiny, one isn't. Is this card good? Serum Core Chimera. What do we got here? It's flying. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put an oil counter on Serum Core Chimera. Remove 3 oil counters from Serum Core Chimera. Draw a card. That's a lot to read. I guess that's another thing, right? Is while we're playing, there's the thing about Magic that I found is like there are so many rules and so many unique mechanics. You know, a friend of ours that was playing was saying like, well, you don't have to remember everything. You kind of just have to read the card. And I think there's just a lot of words on some of the, even though there's like not a lot of words, it's like realistically not a lot of words, but there's a lot of new words that I may not understand. And then when you throw all that stuff into like a 2-sentence description, it gets really confusing. So I can kind of see why Magic is intimidating for new people, and certainly was intimidating for me, because it's like you look at this, you know, Infectious Inquiry, the art is badass, but then there's also like symbols, and it says sorcery, you draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Okay, that is actually a pretty easy to understand card. But each opponent gets a poison counter, and then as a new player, I'm thinking, what the heck is a poison counter? You know, just stuff like that is kind of like, it feels like that's a barrier for entry, where like there are too many status effects, there are too many abilities. But for me, kind of just got to jump into it, and it's always fun now, for me at least now, it's fun to sort of like discover, oh yeah, like this thing does something different from what I've seen before. And this other thing does something different from what I've seen before. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Next one. Also, I've seen some like pack opening videos recently, and those dudes like open packs like so fast. Like, but some packs, I feel like if I try to rip them too hard, then I'm gonna mess up the card or something. That's a cool art card. Pack cracking tips. What are they? And I'm curious. Like, you know, oh look, another Planeswalker. So for these ones, is it always opening with a foil? Because I feel like every time I've opened this, I've gotten a foil. This guy's cool. Too many words. I can't even speak. Too many words for me to read right now. Kaya, Intangible Slayer. Sweet. Kaya, Intangible Slayer. Another Planeswalker. What I've noticed also is I opened like I got like a handful of Final Fantasy packs. Does the Final Fantasy set not have Planeswalkers? Are Planeswalkers only available in like the, you know, magic sets and not the Universes Beyond stuff? That's good to know. Otherwise, here we go. Serum Snare. And kind of back to that first Commander game experience. Again, it took forever. I think a lot of it too was like me and my other friend who had never played before. I played a little bit of Arena, so I kind of knew the mechanics going in. But it took so long, I think, also just because you have to ask like a million questions, because again, like it all comes back to knowledge and like trusting the other players and being like, oh, what does that card do? Like literally every card they played was like, oh, what does that card do? What does that card do? And I think that's fun. Like it's definitely a social aspect of playing Magic that helps. I think for someone like me who has like social anxiety, especially with like people I don't know, I can see this sort of going one of two ways. Like it could go, oh shit, I'm gonna like totally freeze up and like not talk to anyone at the local game store, or I'm gonna come out of my shell and like probably talk too much shit, and then people will probably get mad at me, because that's usually what happens. Unfortunately, it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna get way too comfortable, but we'll see. Who knows? I've yet to go to a local game store and play anything, but I am planning to do it when the Avatar: The Last Airbender pre-release comes out. That I am all in for, and that seems awesome. Okay, cool. So we're gonna keep going. So the first card is always foiled, and the second one's always like a rare or something. So we got Green Sun's Twilight. That is a Green Sun, I think. Also, what time is it? I have a meeting in like 45 minutes. No, in 15 minutes. We got 4 minutes until the meeting, y'all. All right, so we're going to speed through this because it's Monday and we got to go to work. Go to work.com. But yeah, Commander, super duper fun. After we played like 3 hours of Commander, going through the motions, not going through the motions, but like going through the game. My friend who has never played before had a white deck that our other friend lent him to play. That was crazy because it was like all angels, and at one point he had a equipment that gave the angel lifelink and then double strike, and then every time he did damage to someone, the opponent would gain that much damage back in health, and then he would gain damage in health as well. And it was like if you go 15 HP over what you started with, and you automatically win. So that was kind of crazy too. And then eventually they did a board wipe. Holy shit, there's like a Phyrexian land. This is dope. What is going on here? That's awesome. But yeah, they're playing with a crazy ass angel deck, and that was a lot of fun. And just kind of thinking about like, dude, how do people do the pack rips, like the clean pack rips? But that was a lot of fun. And then just like using the cards that I had in my Terra Precon plus the Knights of the Round, and trying to figure out like ways to counter it was fun. And you know, you're trying to put things together on the fly. And for me, it was also like learning a lot of the cards that I had. But yeah, it was a really, really cool experience. But I would say it just like took kind of too long. 40 HP for, you know, every player. And we're not doing a lot of damage, at least not, you know, first few rounds. You're just kind of just ramping up your lands and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think that was interesting. Also, wait a minute. This card, the bottom of this card is funky. It doesn't have like it doesn't say like common or whatever. I don't know. This whole video is going to be blurry, right? Like, I don't understand. Why doesn't it have like a thingy down here that says common and the number and stuff? Dash hopes. Is this a good one? I don't know. Phyrexian Beast. Sick. Haste whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Saw Blade Scram. Sick. Cool. But yeah, like Commander takes so long. Like, is there a faster way to play Commander? Is there a faster casual game? Not saying that I didn't have fun or nothing, but like, it just felt like it took a while. And also another thing was, you know, there's a lot of different cards in Magic that I'm learning, but there are some cards that just sort of like muck up the game. And it seems to be that there's some sort of, how do you say, like etiquette rules and such things to playing the game. You obviously, like, someone could come in there and I'm guessing can just have the craziest like spec'd out deck, and they paid like, you know, $2,000 for all their cards or whatever, and just totally destroy everyone. So like, what's the etiquette there? You know what I'm saying? Also, this meeting is starting, so be right back. This video is brought to you by Sochi the Dog Cafe, the best neighborhood cafe near me. Okay, we're back. And we got more cards to open. I don't remember what I was saying, but basically, first game of Commander, first time playing with real people. It was a lot of fun. It did take a really long time because, again, there's so many cards to learn, so many things to remember, so many like +1/+1 counters and stuff like that to sort of wrap your head around. But yeah, the next thing I'm probably going to do is I'm really hyped up for the Avatar: The Last Airbender event, the pre-releases, and I'm probably going to go there. I will probably shoot another video just talking about my experience there because, again, I've never played at a local game store, and so I'm a little nervous about that just because, again, I'm not going to know anybody. I'm someone that has a lot of anxiety about, meeting new people and stuff, but hopefully going through to a card shop and playing this game that everyone is familiar with would be fun. And also playing a set that is based on, that's awesome, this is sick, based on a franchise that I really liked, watched it as a kid growing up. Yeah, so I'm super stoked. Like, are you guys stoked about the Universes Beyond collabs? I know after Avatar, I think they're doing Ninja Turtles. I think I've also heard a lot of people talk about how Fortnite, the card game or whatever, and all the collabs. There's freaking Dwight Schrute from The Office that you can pick up a secret lair for Dwight Schrute, which is absolutely ridiculous, but kind of funny too. Ooh, this is sweet. Look, it's a rare, shiny land. That's awesome. But yeah, like what is the vibe right now in terms of the Magic community? It seems like people really didn't like Spider-Man, though the Spider-Man cards looked cool, but I'm not super interested in it just because I don't really want a card that's like, hey, we're in New York City and here's like the Magic bagel card or whatever, It's just kind of like a weird, like a visually and aesthetically very odd, I think. Oh, damn. Is this another shiny land? That's cool. Did I get 2 shiny lands in here? Let's see. That's that lady. And then we got, so we got Black Cliffs, Black Cleave Cliffs, and then that's cool. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. And then you got this Phyrexian shiny land. That's cool, man. There are some collabs that I really dig, like Final Fantasy, very awesome. Grew up playing a lot of Final Fantasy. I grew up playing Final Fantasy 6 on the PlayStation 1 when it was part of the Final Fantasy Anthology collection. It was like that double pack. Never played Final Fantasy 5 in it, just 6, because 5 was kind of whatever. And then basically 6 just had a really cool opening. Terra's theme, iconic. Just the Terra and Wedge and Biggs like rolling up to that small town in the snow with the intro credits coming on. Oh my god, that's absolute peak, I would say. And yeah, so I always played that one, always really liked it. I thought Terra was a cool character. She had green hair. I was kind of surprised, like in the Final Fantasy pre-con commander stuff, like they had a Final Fantasy 6. Like, that's interesting, right? Like are all the Final Fantasies represented? I'm guessing so. Hey, look, it's a full art basic mountain land. That's cool. We're back to the beginning. Art card looks like Nightmare Before Christmas there. But yeah, having a Final Fantasy 6 pre-con, very, very fun. It looks like we've reached the end of the Phyrexia ones. This is the Guilds of Ravnica. No idea when this was from. You tell me when it's from. Shout out to my friend who gave me all these packs to open. Now I kind of understand why she gave me these packs, because now I have so many cards that I don't know what to do with. But that's also another thing that I've realized since I've started collecting and playing Magic about a couple of weeks ago, is that dude, you need so many things. Like you need boxes to hold the cards, and then you need sleeves to put the cards in if you care, you know, if you have cool cards to sort of protect or whatever. So that's also another thing. Huge financial sink. I've probably spent like way more money than I should have already because I bought, you know, the Terra Commander Precon. I bought the Zamone Precon. I got an Edge of Eternities bundle with a couple of packs, and I also bought a handful of Final Fantasy packs. Yeah, and then I already have like the Avatar Last Airbender beginner box. That was the first thing I ever bought, but like I wanted to play with something before that was even, you know, released, so I started getting all these other things. But really excited for that. Spent a lot of money already, like got dragon armor like sleeves, and then I really need to find a box, y'all. Like if you guys have a cool box, card boxes, and also like I'm lucky because I had dice from playing D&D back in the day, so using the D&D dice worked well. Otherwise, yeah, there's just a lot of things that go on into playing Magic. I feel like that was kind of unexpected. I mean, I shouldn't say unexpected just because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh when I was like in middle school. I remember having card sleeves there, and also card boxes and stuff, but they were like super cheap, and I don't know, everything's just so expensive now because the economy's all fucked up. But that's a whole nother thing. Look at this guy, he's a mythic, hexproof, 4 mana cost. You can't cast non-creature spells. What? Null Hide, you pay 2, Null Hide Ferox, loses all abilities until end of the turn. Any player may activate this ability. Null Hide Ferox loses all abilities. So wow, that's interesting. So you have to kind of force other people to pay that 2 mana to use their ability. That's kind of interesting, but you can't also use it. If a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Null Hide Ferox, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. Interesting. That's kind of cool. What do we got here? We got a shiny vampire lady. Creature, lifelink, no guilds. That is her rule. Whatever, lifelink, cool. Land, Golgari, guild, gate. Awesome, that was it. That was 10 packs fully opened. Me talking a lot about nothing. Me drinking coffee and taking a work meeting in the middle of this. Anyways, if y'all like that, like and subscribe. You don't even have to, honestly. I'm gonna try this reverse psychology thing for this YouTube channel. Don't like and don't subscribe. But until next time, have a magical morning, y'all.